Hi, I'm Tony Armour, Film Commissioner for St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida, and thank you for checking out the St. Petersburg, Clearwater Film Commission podcast. On today's podcast, we're going to talk to Tony Ahedo, the writer, producer, director, editor, jack of all trades for Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer. We're going to have our location of the week and also do a little unboxing segment with a little thing called a LumeCube. So thanks for checking us out, and let's go talk to Tony. Well, I'm here today with Tony Ahedo, who is the writer, director, producer, a little bit of everything for Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer, which is a web series that recently shot in the St. Petersburg, Florida area. So, Tony, thanks for coming on our little podcast here.
Well, thanks for having me, Tony.
Tell me a little bit about how you got going here with Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer.
So, Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer, it's a comedy horror series about a guy that wants to be a serial killer but isn't very good at it. The 24-minute pilot we made about a year ago, and I wrote, directed it, produced it, edited it, did a little bit of everything on it, and got a bunch of my peers together that were all passionate about the script and the story, and we just set out and made it.
And so you are you're a filmmaker from St. Pete. You went to school at Ringling in Sarasota, which great film school. So tell me a little bit about that process of going to school there, and how did you get inspired to come up with an aspiring serial killer here in Florida?
Ringling's really good at bringing out the best ideas that you have, and Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer was just a log line on a list of 10 different log lines, and something about it always just kind of really stuck out to me. I really thought it was funny that a guy is trying to be a serial killer, not because he wants to, but because it's his destiny.
So you shot the pilot. It premiered at Sunscreen Film Festival in 2016, and then you put everything together to shoot the remaining episodes here. It's a 6-episode series. And now it's coming out the end of this month on Amazon Prime. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we made the pilot last October, just kind of got together, real nitty-gritty, and just knocked it out. And when we were talking about distribution, we looked at a bunch of different platforms, online platforms specifically. Amazon was the obvious choice. We really wanted to get the pilot out on a broad network, and Amazon being available in the UK, Japan, all across the world was probably the most attractive thing about it. It's a household name. Everybody knows about Amazon or knows somebody that has Amazon Prime. So us being available in a market like that is huge.
Well, it's really interesting to me that, years ago, filmmakers coming up, they wanted to get a series on network television or cable TV, feature film produced, and now the mentality has shifted to, I really want to get this series out in an online global platform instead. We talk a little bit about why you think, maybe that's changed a little bit and people are so focused on web-based content as opposed to your traditional television content.
Well, I think filmmaking is going in a new direction, and that's with the whole new media streaming services. Netflix and Amazon, Hulu, all those services, they really are doing something new and kind of unexplored. So I think as a filmmaker, trying to get noticed on those markets right now is probably one of the most important things, because that is the future of filmmaking.
Yeah. Your lead actor in Barry Baker, really funny. When I first saw the pilot, I was just cracking up through the whole thing. It's just that dark comedy, really written very, wittily. Almost has that British dry sense of humor sensibility to it. Can you tell us, about your lead actor and how you found him and what your audition process was to get your lead there?
Yeah. So the lead actor, Peter Conowitz, was just found through a connection that I had. He was recommended to me. I met with him. And one of the most important things to me for Barry Baker was we needed a character that wasn't menacing. You have this guy that's going to be doing these terrible things, and you need the audience to really empathize with him, to feel sorry for him, and finding the right type of actor that can pull that type of thing off was really important to me as a director. And Peter, he is a local Tampa theater actor, and he is kind of newer to the film world, so he has a new look, and he's actually really good at facial expressions and comedic timing. So that was also another factor into choosing for the role. And I called him out for an audition. I had him read, I think, about 5 or 6 different scenes, and from there he was the one. So yeah, it's a pleasure working with him.
Ease up, killer.
Ah! What is it?
Nothing.
Okay, great. Well, so tell me what comes next for Barry Baker. Where does this go from here?
Well, so we've done half the season. So we've done about an hour and a half of content, and the first season is 6 episodes, like you said earlier, and we have to complete it. So we are currently securing financing for the rest of the season, and we're planning out how we're gonna shoot it. So we're doing a lot of producing. I'm still tweaking the scripts a little bit, and that'll be the next thing for Barry Baker. And then we're gonna release all the episodes. So the cool thing is, since we already did 2 and 3, we have some Next Time on Barry Baker segments that you'll see at the end of the first episode, and we're going to be releasing teasers and mini episodes to kind of bridge that gap between our episodes.
Yeah, and I see that you guys have actually created some really great behind-the-scenes content too. You had a really good interview with your production designer.
Yeah.
And I love that sort of stuff that you put together that gives you this little additional bits of information and just a little other entertaining content that you're putting, and those are on your website?
Yeah. So we have all those different videos, and we're going to be releasing them, for the next couple months. So we have
I think I have to be a killer. I don't know if I want to be a killer.
If fate is calling you, then you need to man up, soldier.
Are you okay, Barry?
Embrace your destiny.
So, Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer, after you get that all wrapped up, you got the series done, what's next? What's next for Tony Ahedo then?
Yeah, so after I wrap up this monster series, I'm definitely going to be looking into doing my first feature film. That's something that's on the horizon. I got a couple scripts I'm developing, and a couple shorts that I'll be doing before that. But yeah, a lot of things in the works. Producing a movie called Tether Boss. It's a movie about a tetherball tournament. So it's another comedy. It's wacky. 2 really good buddies that worked on Barry Baker. They're working on it. So I'll be producing that this winter, and after that, I have a couple of drama shorts that I'll be going. And
well, it sounds like you shift towards comedy a lot then. Is that sort of just what you find most engaging, the kind of content you want to make?
I like all the genres. Comedy, horror are definitely more my forte, but I think comedy is definitely the easiest to get attached to because it's fun content.
But it's hard to be funny. That's the thing is
yeah.
Comedy might be easy to attach to, but it's hard to pull off, and you've done a great job, pulling off the comedy. So.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Good. Well, great. Well, thank you for coming on the St. Petersburg-Clearwater Film Commission podcast. So I'm Tony Armour, Film Commissioner for St. Petersburg-Clearwater, Florida. This is Tony Ahedo, producer, writer, director, editor, a little bit of everything on Barry Baker, Aspiring Serial Killer. So you can check out the series on Amazon Prime, October 31st.
Yep.
And what's your website if somebody wants to go to your website?
www.bbas.tv.
BBASK.tv.
Yep.
Great. Thanks very much. So next up is our location of the week. This week, it is the murals of downtown St. Petersburg. We are going to send out Ben Daniele of Scatter Brothers Productions to check out these murals and let us know what he thinks as a filming location here in St. Petersburg, Clearwater.
Hey guys, it's Ben Daniele with your location for the week. Now, if you're looking for a great urban feel to your shoot, downtown St. Pete is the place to be. Not only are there great city streets, great brick roads, great buildings, art, good food for the crew, but also these guys, murals. Check it out. So what'd you guys think? If you're looking for a great urban cityscape and some great murals, downtown St. Pete is the place to shoot. It's got great food, great environment, and the film commission is really easy to work with. Speaking of which, Tony, back to you.
So now we're going to do our unboxing segment. We're going to check out something called a LumeCube. I'm not going to tell you what that is. I'm going to let Lisa Dozois, our film commission manager, and Jacob Pierce, our film commission assistant, show those to you.
Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Dozois, Film Commission Manager at the St. Pete-Clearwater Film Commission. I'm here today with Jacob Pierce, also at the Film Commission, and we are doing a segment called Unboxing. It's this really cool segment where we go out and find the latest and greatest tools of the trade, and we tell you about them. One thing that Tony found recently is this cool little product called LumeCube. It's this 1.5 inch cube that gives out 1,500 lumens of light. It's really cool. It has adjustable brightness, but you just step it up 10 times and it goes up to different brightness levels.
What's great about these is that you don't need to put any batteries in it. You can just directly charge these, and they're waterproof. So you actually have a waterproof seal on the back that you can remove and plug in to charge. So it's pretty cool if you live near water, or if you're even if you wanted to drop, like you see a LumeCube here on top of a beer bottle, or on the bottom of a beer bottle. Some of them have even dropped it into a glass of beer, or just a glass of liquid, and it just has this really cool effect how it just illuminates that.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of versatility with these. It's a really cool, neat tool to have.
When you have them on half brightness, they're going to last you about 2 hours. And when you've got them on full brightness, you can get only about 30 minutes on. So you're going to want to plan your shots at night well, so that you don't run out of power. But like Jacob was saying, they do recharge pretty easily. Just have to have a light source. Did you say that comes with its own charging?
Yeah, it comes with the cord to charge it.
Yep.
And then also, if you have a power bank, if you're out and about, you could bring a power bank with you and charge these on the side while you're shooting, and let this charge. So that's one option as well. You can also have. Another cool thing is that these are directly connected to an application on the phone, so you can download the LumeCube app. The application is a little bit different from the actual cube itself. The cube has buttons on the top that give you the ability to turn it on and off and change the brightness, as well as it gives you a strobe on here, strobe setting. The application itself gives you a display that gives you brightness, duration, gives you the option to remove red eye. It also gives you an option called opto trigger, as well as the battery level and signal strength of the LumeCube. So if we have a whole set of LumeCubes here, so we have 3 set up. So you can click right here. Once you have the application open, you can hit all on, and you can see that all of our LumeCubes here have illuminated. And then you can drop down and select just one of the LumeCube. So if you wish to change the brightness, now you can see the brightness is changing because of adjusting the slider here. And so right now I have the duration set for 15 minutes, so we can change that if we wish to just have it for a split second. And this is going to give you the option to use this as a flash. You can also use it as a strobe, so you can change your settings here to have different frequencies of strobe. So if you wanted to have 1 hertz, you can see it strobing here, or you can make it even much faster. So if you're in a rave or something, you can use it for that. So the next on here is red eye. You can remove red eye from your subject's eye. And then opto trigger. Each one of these, let me lower the brightness here. Each LumeCube has an optical sensor on the cube itself. Not sure if you can see that or not, but it gives these the ability to pick up on other light that's being emitted in the area. So the LumeCube itself will immediately trigger once a flash has hit it. So if you have an external flash on your camera, you can set up your LumeCube on a stand somewhere else, and your LumeCube will automatically know that this trigger has flashed, or the flash has triggered. You also have your battery level on here. So right now we're sitting at 22%. So we've probably used these LumeCubes for about an hour today, maybe a little bit longer than an hour. And we've been using them at different brightness levels. And also you see here your signal strength. So if you're too far away from the cube, it's going to let you know. And you're not going to be able to control the brightness or the duration. And it's most likely if you're too far away, you're going to, you might have intermittent control. So you might go to change your brightness, and then it takes a moment for it to actually change over. So you want to make sure that you're close enough to these as well. So, all right, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit all off. It's going to turn our cubes off here.
And some of the ways that we're going to use them in our office is, we go out and take a lot of location pictures, and Jacob's always out taking shots at sunset for our parent company, Visit St.Pete-Clearwater. So he'll be taking them to give him a little extra light when he's out in the destination. What do you think? You going to take it underwater?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to take these underwater. And another really cool use of these would be doing light painting. You have just another option for light painting. You can just hold this cube in your hand and change the settings to have it set up for a strobe, or you can also just leave it set up on a stand somewhere, so you don't necessarily have to have someone hold up a light. So that's another really cool option, as well as obviously going underwater. Being in St. Pete-Clearwater area, we have a ton of water, and it's just awesome to have tools that you can use that help you get underwater and get really cool effects, really great pictures, and really great video as well with these types of tools. So any type of thing that helps us get underwater and helps us get cool water shots without actually affecting the tool itself is an awesome feature for us.
So yeah, that about wraps up our segment on unboxing for today's show. And if you can think of any cool products that you would like to see featured on our unboxing segment, just email us, info@filmspc.com, and we'll take a look, and maybe it'll end up on a future episode.
Well, thanks very much for watching the St. Petersburg Clearwater Film Commission podcast. If you like this podcast, even if you didn't, click like. Make sure you share this with your friends. If you have any comments, please comment on the video. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to see us talk about, what locations you might like to see, and please don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. We'd like to get, that big subscriber number. See that number over there? It's a little small. We want it bigger. So please subscribe. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.